Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is the Woo Report coming to you live from the Bunker Studio somewhere in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Ramona Rice says, let's go Devils. That's the spirit. It's tough watching these playoff games. Come on, Carolina. Get with the program. Is Devils ownership group listening? You better do something about this team. But that's just me griping as a fan. Happy Devils Tuesday to you, Mike Rossi, and Facebook Live. I see you there, YouTube Live. Some criticisms of past statements that I've made on this fine programming. And that's okay. I can take it. Still, some people say that I'm stupid for wanting Logan Cooley. The obvious choice is not to have another centerman. And I dare to say we need another centerman. It worked out well for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It definitely did. Evgeny Malkin, second overall pick in 2004. 2005, first overall pick, Sidney Crosby. And 2006, second overall pick. Was he second? Yes. Jordan Staal. 1, 2, 3 down the middle. Served them very well for many years. Got a tremendous amount of trade value out of Jordan Staal. Pittsburgh Penguins, which the Devils are modeled after. 3 Stanley Cups. With that regime that Ray Shero and Tom Fitzgerald did together before moving on to New Jersey. So never say never. Never say never. Shane Van Sickle says, Sam, who's on your list of players worth trading the second overall pick for? Well, you know what? It's a good question. Part of the title of this podcast, Never Say Never. Devils rule the world. Let's start with the never say never. Nick Villano, pucksandpitchforks.com editor-in-chief, also my co-host of State of the Fan Address every Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern here on the Let's Go Devils podcast network. He wrote a nice article about a couple hours ago, tweeted it out, about trading those high picks and the history of it. I don't want to blow the article. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com. But there were some scenarios that involved the Islanders and Ottawa Senators, and I don't want to give out too much. I thought, going back memory lane, I remember that. That was a dud. They should have kept it second overall. You can also talk about what the Flyers have done to obtain a high pick. But at the end of the day, you really don't know how some of these players are going to turn out. Alexander Day, remember that? Years ago, going back to my childhood. But if there's a list of players worth trading the second overall pick for, well, first off, what's the goal here? Is it to make the playoffs? Is it to build a strong foundation for years to come? Is it all the above? What kind of trade would change the team dynamics? Well, I'll tell you, it ties in with Devils rule the world. Because you see what the Devils players have done with their respective countries, specifically Nico Hischier. We talked about that yesterday on the Woo Report episode 195. Right now we're on 196, but let's travel around the world. Tomas Tatar, doing well for himself. Ryan Graves, Team Canada. Damon Severson. Luke Hughes, Team USA. John Gillies on the squad, but not getting much time. But Nico Hischier, an undefeated Team Switzerland. How about that? playing at 5 a.m. Eastern today. If you haven't been following IIHF, some of the hockey that's going on, you should be. Because the Devils' DNA is all over the world right now. And they're playing pretty well. They're playing pretty well. So, Shane, going to answer your question. Is there anyone on your list worth? Basically, if I were Tom Fitzgerald, it would take an enormous, blockbuster, historical offer to let up on the second overall pick. And I'm talking like Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, some of these players. But I have to admit, I'm a little biased when I say this because my focus right now is on Logan Cooley. Watching his highlights, great two-way forward, special teams. Oh, by the way, how about Logan Cooley in the faceoffs? Let's go through some of the little things that he's done right at such a young age. Going to the University of Minnesota, I love the college products out there. Some of the college guys, Luke Hughes, University of Michigan. It's going to serve him well. He's not going to be immediate impact for the New Jersey Devils if he is selected or if he's even available. Consensus right now is Shane Wright, but will his stock go up? I don't know. But remember what Tom Fitzgerald said about a year or two ago, that these picks are people. These picks are players. It's just not a second overall pick. It could be a Logan Cooley. It could be a Shane Wright. It could be a Slavkovsky, whatever you pronounce the name. I was reading up some stuff on him. I've watched some of the limited film, is what they would say, and pretty good player. I think I liken him to more of a Dave Andreychuk. Big guy, big horse. Magical hands is what one scout said. Slavkovsky, Shane Van Sickle says, is definitely tempting, but here he has some holes in this game. I think they all have holes in the games. I'm telling you, you can't teach size, and I get it. But if you're talking about the best available and you want to look at what the Devils are trying to do, because you got to follow the Devils' philosophy right now. They're trying to build the next Pittsburgh Penguins, get that third centerman in. And something about Cooley is there's not many holes in his game. And the other thing, too, no one has talked about is the European game is a little different. The ice is different. The style is a little different. I wouldn't hold it against the guy, but you know what? Right now, Cooley is a sure thing, and my goodness, wouldn't it be nice to have a mini Jack Hughes? Mini Jack Hughes. A mini Jack Hughes. Think about the lines that the Devils can roll out, starting with their captain, Nico Hischier, who's ripping up the worlds right now for Team Switzerland. And you put out the Jack Hughes line. Where would Dawson Mercer fit in the picture as a winger? Then Logan Cooley, assuming that's who the Devils would pick. It would be non-stop action. John Tanaka said, I still prefer the 6'4" scoring winger. I'm telling you, it's a sexy pick. I'm not going to lie to you, because if I had it my way, I would take all the above. But Logan Cooley, I'll tell you, you will thank me later if the Devils pick Logan Cooley. I'm telling you, Nathan Bastian's a big guy. He's getting his power play goals. He's making his mark, taking time to develop. Second round pick. But is it size? Will he use his size in the NHL? He definitely is a good forechecker. Slafkovsky, he definitely can make his mark, but when you translate that on the NHL level, there is a big unknown. It's a league. Think about the Devils' defense, for example. He won't, the big guy that everybody's talking about from Slovakia, you just don't know what it's going to translate at the NHL level when he has to deal with like a Ryan Graves or a Dougie Hamilton, big guys, or a Kevin Ball or Muhammad Doolin. Suddenly, he's just in the middle of the pack. And can he keep up with some of these Devils centermen? But Logan Cooley, in my mind, and I don't want to influence you. I'm not the end-all, be-all. There is no right or wrong answer here. First and foremost, there is no right or wrong answer here. It's just for discussion. Logan Cooley would be an added addition where, again, if Jack Hughes gets injured again, you've got Logan Cooley. You can move him up to the second line. Ben Stone, I don't want to hear any fire rough. Says that on the Facebook Live. But I'll tell you what, you pick the best available at second overall. Don't even think about trading that second overall pick. It's too risky. It is too risky unless it's a deal you can't pass up. And I'm talking generational players just about to go in their prime, coming back to the New Jersey Devils. And I'm not going to say never, because I'd be a hypocrite. But let's just play the percentages here. Likely won't happen. Wyatt says, go get the big guy from Slovakia. And that's the debate. Now, I didn't like this one comment that said, pretty much pointing me out that that I need to brush up on my scouting and all that stuff and whatever. Look, all this scouting, you're really relying on video and you're really relying on what other scouts are saying. But you know what? Nobody really knows. Just like in life. Can you imagine if you took some of how you're making your opinions about these players coming up in the draft, like back in high school, freshman year? Do you really know who's really going to be successful in life, in the world? I mean, there are some kids that I went to high school, which I thought, they're not going anywhere. And now, well, one's almost a billionaire. And another has been on TV quite a bit. And the whole time I'm thinking, they'll never amount to nothing. Greg Resta says he could be Zaka. He could be Rantanen. You just don't know. You really just don't know. But I know one thing, Logan Cooley, you can't go wrong with him. You can't go wrong with Logan Cooley. Watch some of the video. The breakaway speed, the deceptive speed, face-offs, smart player, high IQ, plays the game the right way. Isn't that something you would want as a New Jersey Devil? Yes, the Devils need some size. Well, they definitely got size on defense. That pipeline, very, very good. But I'll say this before we end the Woo Report. Wyatt Slavkovsky is the billionaire from Sam's high school. Yeah. Yeah, well, you just never know, Wyatt. And guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be screenshotting all your comments, and 5 years from now, we're going to be just like, I told you so. No, I'm just kidding. But this is all going to be built up to 2025 is what I was saying about a few months ago, that it's going to take a while for Tom Fitzgerald's the seeds to germinate, like Luke Hughes, like Chase Stillman, like Shakir Muhammadulin. We know what Dawson Mercer can bring to the table. Heck, he was pretty durable. Knock on wood. Alexander Holtz, developing. These are all Fitzy's kids. And he gets another shot with the second overall pick. But what is he going to get back? I mean, it would take something enormous. Maybe somebody like a goaltender from Tampa. I don't know. We can only dream, right? Never say never. Want to thank all those watching, listening in to the Woo Report. You're on the Let's Go Devils podcast network. We got some big things happening. There is no off season with us. We're going to try to do this and give you great content. Well, in the evenings, and also dropping the podcast at midnight for your morning commute. Devils are going to rule the world. But right now, I have to stop watching one team play right now because I feel like I'm getting my butt kicked in when they're winning. That's the team across the river. I don't want to talk about them anymore. It hurts me. It hurts you too, I'm sure. But one day, it's going to be 2025, and the Devils will make it far, and they will rule the world. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.